Sirius XM, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Number to call up as always is 888 Mad Dog 6. That's 888-623-3646. Once again, it's 888 Mad Dog 6. That's 888-623-3646. Got a jam-packed show coming your way today. Got a lot of issues that I wanted to get into all on my own. Didn't even feel like sharing the wealth, to be quite honest with you, because there's so much stuff to get into. NBA playoffs, NFL stuff. The New York Mets on an 11-game losing streak. Oh, my Lord. I got to touch on that, too. There's so much stuff to get into, but the first order of business, appropriately so, would be to start with the NBA playoffs. Because this kid, Victor Wembanyama, I'll just start off the show with something that I normally don't do. I'll start it off with a question. Are the San Antonio Spurs going to win a world championship? Are the San Antonio Spurs going to win the world championship, the NBA world championship? Because I got news for you. When you look at Victor Wembanyama at 7'5", when you look at him pulling up for threes, coming around screens for pull-up threes, scoring in the open court, pulling up from the corner, having range anywhere from 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 to 25 feet, this brother is something special. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. He's a 7'5" Kevin Durant. That's what he is. And somehow, some way, somebody's going to have to figure out a way to stop him, because I got news for you. Stephon Castle, who didn't have the greatest game, only shot 31% from the field, can play. De'Aaron Fox can play. Okay? Vassell can play. The San Antonio Spurs got a little crew. And their inexperience might be something that gets in their way, but clearly Victor Wembanyama is not going to be the dude that does it. He's 7'5". He finishes with 35 points on 62% shooting. And when you hear a number like that and you hear his height, normally you would think, you know what? He's just dunking on people. That's not what's happening here. Spin moves in the lane, dunks, pull-up threes, pull-up jump shots, corner threes, driving into the lane, hook shots, everything. I mean, the arsenal is the arsenal. And that's what we're dealing with right here. And so when I look at it from that standpoint, I'm wondering who the hell is going to beat the San Antonio Spurs. My answer is going to be the Oklahoma City Thunder, who continue to amaze me because how they move matters. You see, the one thing that's so great about watching Shai Gilgeous-Alexander perform is that it always seems effortless. He finishes with 25 points and 7 assists in only 29 minutes because the Thunder annihilated the Phoenix Suns in Game 1 of their opening round series, playoff series, okay? I mean, when you look at it and you see what they bring to the table. Remember, a year ago to the day, Oklahoma City blew out Memphis by 51 points in their series opening win following a week of rest. This time around, they were up by about 35. Reigning league MVP just made 28% of his field goals, 0 for 3 from three-point range, won 15 to 17 from the free throw line before sitting out the fourth quarter. His sidekick in the backcourt is Jalen Williams, who had missed about 49 games this year, scored 22 points and 60% shooting. Chet Holmgren scored all 16 of his points in the first half because they didn't need him to do anything in the second half. Every time you turn around and you look at the Oklahoma City Thunder, the way they play defense, everybody's in their right spots. Everybody's defending with energy. Nobody is taking plays off. They're coming at you like a pack of piranhas. You find yourself looking at them and you're saying to yourself, excuse me, it seems destined that they're going to be on a collision course with the San Antonio Spurs, the top 2 seeds in the Western Conference, going at it for a trip to the NBA Finals. But then you look at Denver and their victory over Minnesota. After a sluggish start, they come back, they beat Minnesota, they neutralize Ant-Man. They show Rudy Gobert to be a minimal factor, and Julius Randle for that matter, and a Naz Reid for that matter. And then you find yourself saying, wait a minute. What if the Denver Nuggets got consistent production of an all-star caliber level from Jamal Murray? What would that mean? What would that equate to? That's what you find yourself asking when you look at the Denver Nuggets. They've won 13 consecutive games dating back to the regular season. It's who they are. They started out the game shooting 6 of 22 from the field and still won by double digits. Jokic only had 6 points on only 4 shot attempts at halftime. He finished with a 25-point triple-double. The Nuggets outscored Minnesota 68-46 in the second and third quarters combined. Shoot 55% while holding the Wolves to under 40% shooting in those 2 quarters. Murray scored 24 of his game-high 30-point in the second and the third period. When he is flowing, Denver looks unstoppable. They look like they can beat anybody. And if they win this series, and I believe they will if they win game 2 tonight, if you don't stop them, if you're Minnesota and you go down 0-2, you're not beating Denver 4 out of 5 games. It's not happening. It's just not happening. So I look at it from that standpoint, and I'm like, yo, Minnesota's in some trouble. Because this is Jokic and Murray coming at you. And when they get their 2-man game going, they're virtually unbeatable. I'm just here to tell you. They're virtually unbeatable. Murray is something special. We don't give him enough love, but we need to. We definitely need to. And so I look at it from that standpoint, and I say to myself, it's getting very interesting because now you're looking at the Los Angeles Lakers.
First player in NBA history to have 35 points and 5 3-pointers in a postseason debut. By the way, the only other Spurs player with 35 and 5 in any playoff game, oh yeah, that was Mr. Kawhi Leonard in 2017. So Sinead, how exactly did Wemby change the game from your perspective?
Let's go. Let's go. It's that time. The playoffs demand more than a breakdown. It's time to focus on those who change the game when it matters most. And in his postseason debut, Victor Wembanyama is the youngest center at 22 years old to make at least 5 threes in a playoff game. Let's break it down because he's truly a 3-level scorer, and this is why I call him a game changer. Right here, he wants to play 2-man action with De'Aaron Fox. He's top block, so he knows the option's not there. What does he do? Fox sets a brush screen, he gets to the corner, and he starts going to work. And then he hits you with the beautiful step back. Watch the feet, but focus on the hands because the release, average wrist height, 9.7 feet.
Oh my God.
On his made 3-point shots. This right here is fully a cheat code, but it does not stop there because he's also got the handle. This was the play that had me off of my couch. Behind the back, attacking downhill, one of the greatest and most mind-blowing scorers. Behind the back, and then finishes there through the contact. How do you guard that? But it's on both levels because it's not just offense, it's also defense here. Kamara's trying to attack him. No luck. That's an all hell no. I'm not going to shoot it. But then when you do shoot it, what happens right here? The rim is 10 feet. His reach, standing reach, exceeds that. Victor Wembanyama with a debut for the ages. No player scored when Wemby contested this shot. The sky is the limit, literally, for this guy, a true game changer.
Yeah, and he was doing it in so many different ways here. Really, it was the third quarter where they were able to create that separation, and Victor Wembanyama had his fingerprints all over this game. What did you make of this, Brian?
His confidence level right out of the gate. You know that he even said it felt different. You know, there was going to be jitters. De'Aaron Fox said he felt his teammates were jittery. 21 points in the first half. He instantly, I know he made the 3-point shots, but his first few looks were inside. He played inside out, which I always think is really going to make things much easier on him. You know, a couple years ago in the gold medal game, when he played in that huge game in Paris on Saturday night, the game of his life at that point, he had 26 points. He had the first basket of the game. He was not afraid. It did not surprise me he was not afraid. And, you know, I went and looked up some of the other star players of this era and their first playoff games. His performance here applies favorably, basically historically, and that doesn't surprise me at all.
You know what I would be concerned about if I was Portland, and it's not because of Victor or De'Aaron Fox not turning over. It's the non-Wemby minutes.
Yeah.
There was a stretch in that game where Portland came back in the third quarter and they took Victor out, I think at the 7-minute mark. He didn't come back until the 1-minute mark. San Antonio was a +8.
Right.
Devin Vassell, Stefan Castle,
Vassell was huge.
Dylan Harper, Luke Cornett on those lobs, a little bit miniature version of Victor there. That would be my concern, is that when he comes off the court.
people are going to challenge Castle's jump shooting. It's just the way it's going to be. It's not even so much of an insult.
Right.
What else can they do?
But even when they pack the paint, then Victor hit 5 threes in this game, Shanae.
What's interesting also as we talk about strategies, it's the physicality, right? Because I think lack thereof, at some points, he was not necessarily overtly doubled. He was not necessarily thrown off. I mean, you can only deal with what you have. If you're the Trailblazers, like, you can only deal with what you have. But Victor, I do think the offseason where he actually bulked up his body paid off. And also the IQ. Wendy, you were the first one saying when the season started, stop settling for those threes, get downhill and attack. And that's what unlocked him on the other side. And so, you know, it's hard. I don't even know if there's a way to truly make a proper
I will
adjustment.
point out, Denny Avdia was playing his first ever playoff game. He had like 10 in the first quarter, and he had 30 for the game. He played very, very well. I know the Blazers probably feel they can do better, but Denny answered the bell too. Victor was just higher.
Did you see that play where he was one-on-one with Victor and then hit him with a little physicality?
That's
and
the way.
That's
the way Denny plays.
And that's the way that they're going to try to get someone like Victor Wembanyama off the court. But then, as Bobby pointed out, they have to be able to capitalize on those minutes. But, you know, our friend, our producer, Matt Williams, he predicted that the Trailblazers are going to come back.
I don't like that
this
prediction.
Series.
And how many games?
There's a cup of 6, he said. There's a cup of coffee.